You'll start off by making your first agent. I'm going to make a frog agent. I'll go to the lower toolbar and I'll click the Agent button. In the window that opens, I'll choose Inflatable icon from the first column. That option will allow me to draw my own two-dimensional shape and inflate it into a three-dimensional shape. I'll leave the Animals category selected in the second column. In the third column, you could choose a pre-built frog icon, but it's way more fun to draw your own inflatable frog icon from scratch. To do that, I'll leave the default icon, the akako, which is a ladybug, selected in the third column just to start with. And I'll go up to the name field and I'll type frog, since I want to make my own frog icon. Then I'll click Save at the bottom right. Now I have an agent named Frog in the Agents list. It still looks like a ladybug here, but I'm going to make it look like a frog. I'll double-click this agent, being careful to click right on the icon, not on its name. That opens the agent into the Inflatable Icon Editor. To add more options to this window, I'll click the More Tools button in the center of the window. The area on the left is the 2D editor, where I'll draw a frog instead of this ladybug. To remove the ladybug from the 2D editor, I'll click the Clear button in the center of the window. In the toolbar on the left, I'll select the Mirror Vertically tool, which adds this blue line in the center of the 2D editor. As I'm drawing my frog in the 2D editor, anything I draw to the left of this line will be mirrored to the right side of the line. I'll make sure that the Pencil tool is selected at the top of the toolbar on the left, and I'll choose a color to draw with by clicking the Color well in the toolbar and selecting a green crayon. I'll click OK to close the color picker. I'll draw the left side of the frog's head and body to the left of the blue line. What I draw here is automatically mirrored on the right side, so the frog is symmetrical. I'll give my frog some front legs. And come all the way down to the bottom and close the outline of the frog. If you make a mark that you don't want, like this, you can back up one step at a time by pressing Ctrl-Z on your keyboard. When I've made a complete outline of my frog, I'll fill it with the green color that's in the color well by going back to the toolbar and selecting the Paint Bucket tool and then clicking inside the outline of the frog. Now I'll create the frog's back legs in a different color. I'll click on the color well again, and this time I'll choose a darker green crayon, and I'll click OK. I'll go back to the toolbar and I'll click the Pencil tool again. And I'll use it to draw the frog's left leg, which is mirrored on the right side too. Again, I'll select the Paint Bucket tool in the toolbar, and I'll fill the left leg with green, and that fills the right leg too. I'll finish up by giving my frog some eyes. I'll go back to the color well, click there, and I'll select the white crayon and click OK. Then I'll go back to the toolbar, and I'll select the Pencil tool again. I'll draw some eyes, and I'll go back to the color well one more time and select the black crayon and click OK to add some pupils. To change my simple 2D drawing into a 3D frog, I'll inflate him using the plus button here. I'll click and hold this button as I keep my eye on the preview on the right to watch the frog inflate. To make his legs look more muscular, I'll inflate those even more. To do that, I'll go back to the toolbar and I'll select the Magic Wand tool. With that tool, I'll click on his left leg to select that, and then I'll hold the Shift key and click on the right leg to add that leg to the selection. Then I'll go back to the plus button and I'll click and hold, keeping my eye on the preview on the right to see his legs inflate. And to deselect the legs, I'll press Ctrl-D on my keyboard. Now I've finished creating my frog. To preview how he looks in 3D, I'll go to the toolbar on the right and I'll select the Rotate Camera tool. Then I'll click on the preview area on the right, and I'll drag to rotate the frog. And then to save my frog, I'll click the Save button here, and the inflatable icon editor closes. Back in the Agents list, my frog now has a frog icon. I'd like to put my frog into the world that I'm building. So I'll make sure the frog is selected here in the Agents list. I'll go to the upper toolbar, and I'll make sure that the pencil tool is selected there. And then I'll go to the world, and I'll click in the grid where I want the frog to be located. Whenever you make a change to the world like this, adding, deleting, or moving an agent, you need to save the world with that change. So I'll go to the upper toolbar, and I'll click the Save button there. In the future, if I change my mind about something I've done to the world, I can go to this button, the Restore button, and click, and that will return the world to this state, the way it was when last saved.